Welcome to Games and History, where we play to learn and learn while we play. Here, history comes to life through amazing games, from epic battles to moments that shape the world. If you love history and want to explore the past in a fun and interactive way, you're in the right place. Subscribe, hit play, and join us on this journey through time. Japan, seeking natural resources to expand its empire, invades French Indochina, a region strategically located near China and critical trade routes. This action escalates tensions in the Pacific. In response to Japanese aggression, the U.S. imposes an economic embargo, including cutting off oil supplies, essential to Japan's war machine. The embargo accelerates Japan's planning for the attack on Pearl Harbor. After entering the war, the U.S. transforms its economy, becoming the arsenal of democracy. Thousands of planes, tanks, and other military equipment are produced, far surpassing the Axis power's capabilities.
When they must prepare to defend not their homes alone, but the tenets of faith and humanity.
Makin Atoll. Little more than sand, trees, and a small Japanese military base. Miller's reconnaissance team landed there almost a week ago. Since then, we've heard nothing. The waiting's over. We're going in. For all we know, they're already dead. If what little we know about the Japanese is true, it might be better if they are.
You think because you say nothing, you are strong? 貴様は強くない。強情なやつめ。
Don't tell him a fucking thing.
米兵どもはみんなこうなのか。二人とも殺せ。
Go to hell. 貴様は強くない。
Miller, you're okay. Thank God. We're gonna make them pay for what they've done.
Fuckers! Grab a rifle. We're gonna tear this place apart. Roebuck, signal the strike team. Here, go! Boom, boom, boom! Roebuck, right through you! Take a left!
The invasion of Makin Atoll, which took place in November 1943, was part of the Gilbert Islands campaign during World War II. Led by the United States, the operation aimed to capture this strategic Japanese-held position, vital for advancing across the Central Pacific toward the Philippines and Japan.
Watch our flank! Don't let them surround us! Hold your position! Well done!
Makin Atoll, part of the Gilbert Islands, had been under Japanese control since 1941. The atoll was a strategic position for the Japanese, serving as a base for their operations in the Pacific region. The main objective of the U.S. forces in capturing Makin Atoll was to establish an air and naval base that would serve future offensives against the Japanese Empire. Additionally, the operation aimed to weaken Japan's hold on the Central Pacific and provide a platform for the invasion of Tarawa, which would be the next target for the Allies.
Crew on it!
The invasion was part of a broader series of planned attacks by the United States to weaken Japanese positions, strike at their supply lines, and continue military pressure. The U.S. command sought not only to attack Japanese military defenses, but also to destabilize their logistical and communication systems in the Gilbert Islands.
Good work, Marines. Keep it up. Support squad will hit the beach just up ahead. Let's move!
This place creeps me out.
Tojo's at home in this shit.
The invasion of Makin Atoll began on November 20th, 1943, when the U.S. 27th Infantry Division, supported by naval and air forces, began landing on the atoll. Prior to the landing, American forces conducted heavy naval and aerial bombardments to weaken the Japanese defenses and destroy key positions on the atoll. Although the Japanese resistance was considered weaker than expected, the swampy terrain and dense vegetation made it difficult for American forces to advance. The beach where the soldiers landed was filled with mud, which slowed the progress of the troops and hindered the use of armored vehicles. Despite these challenges, U.S. forces managed to take control of the atoll in just a few days, encountering a relatively small defensive force of around 400 Japanese soldiers, many of whom were already weakened from weeks of heavy bombardment. After 3 days of intense fighting, U.S. forces secured the atoll by November 23, 1943. Curiosities about the invasion of Makin Atoll. Earlier operation in 1942. Before the 1943 invasion, a smaller attack had already been carried out on Makin Atoll in 1942 by an elite force of U.S. Marines known as the Marine Raiders. This operation was a preliminary test of amphibious assault tactics and an attempt to divert Japanese attention from other targets. The 1942 attack was a limited success, but it allowed the U.S. to gather vital information about the terrain and Japanese defenses on the atoll. It also helped test new approaches to amphibious landings. Role of the USS Nautilus submarine. During the 1942 raid, the USS Nautilus submarine played an important role in transporting the assault forces to Makin Atoll. The operation marked one of the first instances in which a submarine was used to transport ground forces, and the mission was successful, although it also highlighted the need for closer coordination between ground, sea, and air forces in subsequent operations. Weaker Japanese defense than expected. Despite expectations that Makin Atoll would be heavily defended, the Japanese had significantly reduced the number of troops stationed there. Japanese defensive forces were concentrated in other strategic areas, and the resistance on the atoll was much weaker than anticipated. The U.S. victory was rapid in comparison to other invasions of the war, but American forces still faced tough combat due to the difficult terrain and persistent pockets of Japanese soldiers. Impact and consequences of the attack. The capture of Makin Atoll had a number of strategic and tactical implications for the continuation of the war in the Pacific. First, it provided the United States with an advanced air base, which was crucial for preparing subsequent offensives, such as the invasion of Tarawa, which would take place shortly after. Additionally, the capture of the atoll allowed the Allies to establish better air and naval coverage, as well as greater flexibility in operations against the Japanese forces. The operation also served as a clear example of the effectiveness of the island hopping strategy, which would become a central principle in the Pacific campaign. This strategy aimed to capture strategically important islands, establish advanced bases, and bypass the most heavily fortified Japanese positions, avoiding costly and protracted battles. The invasion of Makin Atoll was a test of this approach, and after its success, the island hopping strategy was widely applied in subsequent campaigns. Moreover, the operation helped solidify the use of combined tactics, with naval, air, and ground forces working together more effectively, which would be crucial for the success of future operations in the Pacific. The experience gained in the invasion of Makin also influenced how American troops would approach other battles in the Pacific, particularly in terms of amphibious landings and dealing with challenging environmental conditions.
They're closing in! We need to get to the extraction point ASAP! Sullivan, we have to jerry-rig the charges. Get to the boat! The charges are ready to blow! Move! I do not want anyone left behind! I got you! Okay, we're leaving! Everyone, keep down! It's gonna be okay, just hang in there.
The invasion of Makin Atoll, though less well known than other Pacific battles, played a crucial role in the Allies' advance in the Pacific theater. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content about history and gameplay. Make sure to hit the bell to get notifications for new videos.